Hello Bibliophiles and welcome back to Blatantly Bookish. I'm Marissa and welcome to Winter Cozy Reading Night. I have tons of cozy wintry things here to share with you, but before I do, I just wanted to say thank you to Lauren from Lauren and the Books for hosting this wonderful readathon. I think she hosts one every season, but the winter one has to be my favorite. You get to cozy up with a good book in the dead of winter, and what could be better than having a nice cup of tea and some snacks and a good book in the freezing cold weather. So I will show you my whole setup here, what I'm wearing, what I'm eating, what I'm drinking, and of course what I'm reading. So I have this cozy Christmassy reindeer blanket to keep me warm tonight, and I've got my Christmassy pajamas on and my cozy sweater slippers. I also have these wonderful socks that my husband got me that have books and cats on them. I don't know if you can see them from where you are, but especially my leg does not go very high here. But I've got cats sitting on books all over my socks, and it is magical. So yes, I will curl up under this blanket, and I've also got some snacks out. I have my favorite cookies ever. They're from Trader Joe's. They are Ginger Men. So they're gingerbread cookies with a yogurt icing. They are absolutely delicious, and I can't talk about them and hold them in front of my face without taking a bite. So good, you guys. Should really finish chewing before I continue talking to you. Good. I also have a delicious cup of tea in my Jane Austen mug. I love this mug so much. My only complaint would be that I wish it was bigger so I could have more tea and see all the characters just a little bigger. They're kind of tiny, but they're all on there. And I'm drinking Russian Caravan tea. It's this delicious smoky tea that I got from T2, and just drinking it feels like sitting by a warm campfire. It is delicious and delightful, and if you like smoky tea, I highly recommend it. I don't have a fireplace in this apartment, but drinking this tea makes me feel like I'm at a real life fire. But I do have sort of a mini fire going on here. I have a candle for atmosphere and aromatherapy. I call it my grandma candle because it says Grandma's Kitchen on it, and it has 3 layers. The top one smells like pumpkin roll, the middle one is apple crisp, and the bottom one is pecan pie. So basically my room just smells like one giant bakery, and it is delicious. But of course, the most important part of Cozy Reading Night is what are you reading? So I am reading Anthony Trollope's Framley Parsonage. I've been reading this for way too long, on and off. I think I put it away for quite a few months. I don't even remember when I started it at this point. But anyway, I am about 50 pages from the end, and I hope to finish this one tonight, and certainly before the beginning of 2020. Another one that I would really like to finish before 2020 is Little Dorrit. I am about halfway through it, and it is going along well, but these are the 2 that I'm making my priority to finish before the end of the year. And in case I get bored of physical reading, I do have an audiobook that I just started. I was looking for something Christmassy, and so I picked up Agatha Christie's Hercule Poirot's Christmas, and it just seems like a wonderful little Christmassy adventure. It takes place during Christmas, and I have not seen how Hercule Poirot factors into the story yet, or even who was murdered, but I'm sure we will get there as the story progresses. And so if I decide to pick that up, I will listen to it while knitting. I have a project that I'm working on. I've got mittens that I'm making. So I finished one mitten. I'm really excited about it. It is for my husband's grandmother because she asked for mittens for the holidays, and we went into a few different stores to look for them, and we just didn't find anything we liked, and I decided to make something special and homemade for her. So here's one, and I just started the other. It barely looks like a mitten at this point because I just started the cuff and did a few rows, but I need to finish this one by Christmas as well, so audiobooks and knitting are in my future. So I'm going to get cozy, as I hope you will, and I'm going to get started with some Framley Parsonage, and I will come back to you with my thoughts. I've been reading Family Parsonage for a while now. I was a bit off in my calculations. I was not 50 pages from the end. I was more like 100 pages from the end. Now I'm about 50 pages from the end. So I can't believe I stopped reading this book for so long. I love it. Why did I ever stop reading it? I'm so disappointed that I waited so long to pick it up again, but that's okay. Family Parsonage is the 4th book in the Barsetshire Chronicles series, which I'm very slowly making my way through. Anthony Trollope is absolutely brilliant, and what I love so much about this book is how all of the characters and their relationships are so eloquently fleshed out. They're so realistic and nuanced in their portrayals, and I find this book absolutely fascinating when it comes to money and class. This book follows Mark Robarts, who's a clergyman. He goes to a party at Gatherum Castle to interact with dukes and other members of the peerage, and he finds himself in conversation with Mr. Sowersby, a member of Parliament. However, Mr. Sowersby is a very disreputable, shady character who lives well above his means by mooching off of other people. And Mr. Sowerby takes advantage of Mark Robarts and convinces Mark to sign his name to some bills and convinces him that he will never be responsible for this debt, that he just needs somebody to co-sign with him. And of course, Mr. Sowerby is just taking advantage of Mark, and what he says is a complete bald-faced lie. Mark becomes responsible for debt that he cannot possibly pay off. And the book follows his struggles in coping with this situation and whether he should tell his wife, etc. It's a really fascinating portrayal of somebody who finds himself in a very difficult situation. Another plot line in this book follows Mark Robarts' sister and Lord Lufton, who tries to cultivate a romantic relationship with Miss Robarts against his mother's wishes. Now, his mother is Lady Lufton, who is an amazing character and my favorite in the book. She holds a position very similar to Lady Catherine de Bourgh in Pride and Prejudice. She has installed Mark in this position of clergyman at Framley Parsonage, much in the way Lady Catherine de Bourgh supports Mr. Collins. So Lady Lufton is basically his benefactor, and she's just this proud woman who is very attuned to tradition and class and upholds a very strict sense of class roles in society. So it's really interesting to follow her thoughts and her feelings on her son's interest in this Miss Robarts. And it's also really interesting to follow her relationship with Mrs. Robarts, Mark's wife, because the two of them actually have a really, really close friendship despite differences in socioeconomic position in society. I just want to read you a really interesting little snippet of the book that describes Lady Lufton because I just read it. It won't give you any spoilers, I promise. She was proud and masterful, fond of her own way, and much too careful of worldly dignities to which her lot had called her. But she was a woman who could cause no sorrow to those she loved without deep sorrow to herself. So this paragraph very eloquently summarizes how Lady Lufton upholds all of these very traditional class roles despite those around her not believing in them and to the detriment of her relationship with others around her, her son and Mrs. Robarts included. And even though she upholds these values, it hurts her inside. She sees how it affects her relationships with those she loves, negatively, of course. And at this point in the book, she has not really come to terms with that. I hope by the end of the book, she comes to terms with that and is somehow compromises her beliefs in order to maintain these relationships, but we shall see. Hopefully next time I talk with you, I will have finished Framley Parsonage, but I'm going to keep reading now. So though some time has passed, it's pretty late. I put on my glasses, took out my contacts, just to get an extra layer of coziness going. And I'm proud to say that I finished Family Parsonage. This was an amazing book. I'm so happy to have finally finished it, and in time for the new year. I don't know why I ever stopped reading it because I love it so much now. I think it may be my favorite book so far in the series, although it's been a while since I read the other books, so perhaps that's not actually true. I did love Dr. Thorne a lot, and I bet if I rewatched my video on Dr. Thorne, I would feel less strongly about this book in comparison. But this book was absolutely amazing, and I did love how some of the characters from the past cropped up again. We saw the Grantleys and the Proudies, and Dr. Thorne popped up in this book, as did one of my favorite characters, Miss Dunstable. So I'm so excited to see what happens next in this series. The Small House in Allington is supposed to be fantastic, but before I read that one, I really should finish Little Dorrit. So, like I said, it is very late. I will probably process this book some more and talk about it more in a wrap-up in the future. But for now, I think it is bedtime. Thank you guys for joining me tonight, and I hope you were as cozy as I was. Did you participate in Cozy Reading Night? I would love to hear what you read, hear about your experience in the comments down below. Have you read Trollope? Have you read the Barsetshire Chronicles? Have you read Family Parsonage? And what did you think of any of them? I would also love to hear that in the comments down below. And until next time, I look forward to seeing you in another video soon. Bye!